Today we're going to be working on I Can statement number 7, which says I can identify nonfiction text structures. And nonfiction text structures are how an author has chosen to organize their text. So how have they taken the information that they're writing about and organized it? And there's a couple different ways that authors can organize their text structures. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over those different text structures, and then I'll tell you the steps to find the text structure. So I've got this graphic here that shows you the different types of text structures, and I'm going to go through each one and I'll give you an example of what it looks like. So the first type of text structure is a description. And when an author has a descriptive text structure, what that means is they are taking a topic and they're describing it. So you want to look for words like for example, for instance, characteristics include, specifically, in addition. And if you could visualize it, what you almost want to imagine is that the author has their main topic in the center, and then they're describing different things about that topic. The second type of text structure is sequence and order. And what that means is the author is telling you what happened in particular order. So what you're looking for is you're looking for things to be told in time order. And another word for sequence and order is chronological order. And that means that you're being told about things in order as they happen. So you look for words like beginning, next, after, then, in the middle, at the end. And a visual of how the author is doing this is you almost want to think about it if the author is presenting things in order, such first this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Okay? The next type of text structure is compare and contrast, and that's where an author is comparing and contrasting two or more different things. And so the author is going to be looking at how are these things similar, how are they different, and so you'll look for words like similar, alike, both, different, things like that. And a great way to visualize this is like a Venn diagram. It's almost like your author is making a Venn diagram, but just with words, not a chart, and so they're describing different things. Another type of text structure is cause and effect. And cause and effect is when an author is organizing their information to show you that because one thing happened, another happened. And they're really trying to show that there's a relationship between those two things. So you're going to want to look for words like since this happened, because this happened, or if, or due to, or as a result of this, then this happened. Really showing a relationship between since this happened, then another thing happened. And a great way to visualize this is kind of having one topic here, this is our cause, and then these are all the things that happened because of it. The last type of text structure is problem and solution, and that's where the author presents a problem and then offers a solution for it. And so you are going to want to look for words like a problem or an issue or causes of it, and then you're going to want to look for solutions that they have. So they might say, as a result, this needs to be happen, or this leads to this, or here's a way to solve it. And a good way to kind of focus on it is that they're going to start with sad or bad information at the beginning, and then they're going to focus on happy information at the end. So now that I have the different types of text structures, and they're listed here as well too, what I need to do is I need to follow these steps to find the text structure. And so the first thing I need to do is I need to read the text because I need to see how the author has organized the information. And so once I've read the text, I need to ask myself, how did the author organize the information in the text? Okay, I need to ask myself, are they describing something or someone? Are they presenting information in a time or chronological order? Are they setting up that this is about a cause and how it affected other things? Are they comparing and contrasting two different things? Or are they offering me a problem and solution? And then once I figure that out, I need to give evidence to support my answer from the text with page numbers. So let's take a look at our Malala article here. Okay, as I read the article, I look at it and I see that it's about Malala and what she did. She stood up, she was a teen from Pakistan who stood up and was almost killed 2 years ago because she was standing up for the right for girls to have an education. And because of that, she ended up winning the honor of the Nobel Peace Prize. And it tells me a little bit about the Nobel Peace Prize. And then it also tells me about who she shared the prize with. And it tells me that she shared the prize with a man from India, and he also has fought passionately for improve the lives of children. And so it tells me about what he did. He founded the Slave Childhood Movement in 1980, and him and Malala will be honored next month at the ceremony. And so they're going to receive the medal, and they're going to split a cash prize as well too. And so Malala just ends with a quote saying here that she's honored to win the award, but her mission is still far from over. So after reading this text, I need to ask myself, how did the author choose to organize the information? And so what I'll often do is I'll kind of go through the different types, and I'll see if those seem to show up in there. So let's just pull up again our different types of text structure, and I'm just going to start at the beginning here. So description, is my author describing something? Well, I would say that my author is definitely describing Malala and describing winning the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's also describing the other person who's winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So I would say that description could be a possibility for my text structure. Let's go down to the next one and check that. So the next one is sequence in order. Was my author organized the information in time order? Was it really focused on events happening in time? Well, if I look back at my article, I noticed that it's not really going in time order because 2014 is here. Since 1901 this happened. This was started in 1980. So I don't think this is chronological order because my author doesn't seem to be really focusing on presenting things in the order that they happened. Next one is compare and contrast. And so in this text structure, my author would be presenting information to compare and contrast to find similarities and differences between two different things. Now, when I look at the article here, I see that my author is telling me about two different people. He's telling me about Malala and the other man who won the award. But he's not really comparing and contrasting them. So I don't think that this is a compare and contrast text structure because it doesn't seem like our author is really comparing them and finding similarities and differences. Our author is mainly just telling us about these two people. The next text structure is cause and effect, and that's where an author would show me that because one event happened, then other events happened. And I see traces of this here because it talks about how Malala was nearly killed 2 years ago for standing up for the rights of girls to get an education. And then because of that, Malala and the work that she's done, Malala got the Nobel Peace Prize. And I see here that this man here talks about what he did that allowed him to get the Nobel Peace Prize as well too. But when I look at this, it's not, I feel like the whole article isn't focused on that because this one thing happened, then another thing happened. I still really feel like it's more so just describing these people who are winning the award. So for now, I don't really feel like it's cause and effect, although I see some cause and effect parts in the article. The last one is problem and solution, and this is where my author organizes the information so that a problem is presented and a solution is given. And when I look at this article, I see that my author is telling me about them winning this prize, and that to me seems like a very happy, a very good thing. I don't really see that there's a problem here and that it's being solved. I think both Malala and the other man are trying to solve problems with the work that they're doing, but this article to me doesn't seem like it's focused on finding a problem and solving it. So when I look back at the different text structures, I really do think that this article is description because it's describing the two people who are winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So to complete this I can statement, what I need to do then, I've identified the text structure, its description. Now I need to give evidence to support it with page numbers. And so I think a great piece of evidence to support this is telling me what Malala has done. Malala has inspired people around the world by doing just that. The teen from Pakistan was nearly killed 2 years ago for standing up for the right of girls to get an education. Since then, she has continued to spread her message that every girl and boy deserves to go to school. And that's describing what Malala is doing. I have another piece of information here that tells me about the other man who won the Nobel Peace Prize. And it says, for more than 30 years, he has worked to end child labor. More than 85 million kids worldwide are basically slaves. They're forced to work long hours in dangerous conditions for little or no money. And then down here it tells me that he founded the Save the Children movement in 1980 to get kids out of these terrible situations. And so that's describing what he has done. And so that's the evidence I would give. So to quickly review what you need to do, you need to identify the nonfiction text structure. The examples are here. After reading the text, ask yourself, how did the author organize the information? and then identify the text structure. It will be one of the examples I gave you, and the chart that I showed will be in Canvas if you want to use that chart to help you figure it out. And once you've identified the text structure, then give evidence to support your answer from the text with page numbers.